I have taken off the carburetor from my bike. Air flows from right side airbox through the carburetor into the combustion chamber. The black thing inside the carburetor is called butterfly valve. It opens when we pull the throttle and stay closed otherwise, like pull, release. This is the idle screw. Turning it clockwise increases the RPM, and turning it counterclockwise direction decreases the RPM. Like I am showing, tightening the screw raises the butterfly valve. Loosening will lowers the position of the valve. This is where fuel stays in this bowl and flows through the screw, comes out from this hole and goes into the engine while idling. This screw is called fuel mixture screw. It lets the fuel into the engine at idle. The tip is so small and delicate such that you should not tighten it too much. If you do so, it will break, and it has spring also. This screw controls amount of fuel that enters the engine. At idle, say rich, lean, optimum. Now coming to the main procedure. Upside is idle screw, downside is fuel mixture screw. Let me start the bike. Now we need to increase the RPM, so turn the idle screw in clockwise direction. Turn it 1 to 1.5 turns. Next come to fuel mixture screw and turn it in clockwise direction until the dead position reached, means 0 position. Once you completely close the fuel mixture screw, the bike stops because there is no fuel passing through the screw. From 0 point, turn the screw in counterclockwise direction till it reaches 1.5 turns, and this point is optimum point universally for all bikes. Next, turn on the engine and start to turn the screw in counterclockwise direction quarter at a time, and listen to the change in sound of RPM for few seconds. Now I will give a quarter turn and listen to the sound for few seconds. Next, give it another quarter turn and listen if RPM increases. And give another quarter turn and listen if RPM increases in this position. Turn it another quarter. Another quarter. In the previous position we have increased RPM, so go back to the previous position. This is where we are getting high RPM. Check for the another quarter back turn. Now we need to go back to the previous position. This is where we are getting high RPM. If we turn off backwards, this is the optimum position. And this is the rich position. This is where we are getting high RPM. Now I am going to lock it down and decrease the idle speed. Turn the idle screw in counterclockwise direction. Now bring back the idle screw RPM to 1100 to 1200 RPM. Now I'm gonna give a accelerate. You can see the rev works like charm. No hiccups, no box. Once you accelerate, the RPM should go high instantly and should settle down quickly. If that's not happening, then your bike is having problem. Let's see how many turns the fuel screw is at. Turn it clockwise direction by counting. Half, 1, that's 1.5, 2, and 2.5. We are at the dead position. Now turn it back. Half, 1, 1.5, 2, 2.5. The rich mixture is at 2.5. You can decrease off, so that will be optimum position.